So most of the world has decided to stop shipping. They stopped their shipments to the United States, their imports. As of today, there are 33 countries that have announced that they have suspended their shipments to the United States due to the ending of the de minimis, which is a tax exemption, a duties exemption that allowed packages and shipments coming into the United States under the value of $800 to be duty free. That ended today. And before it could officially end, countries around the world had already started announcing that they're not shipping over here anymore. If you think that I'm lying, just head over to USA Today to look at the list of all of the countries that have announced that they are no longer shipping to the United States, all right? And just to give you a little idea, I'm going to read off some of the countries that are on this list. Australia, Austria, Belgium, Bulgaria, Cyprus, Denmark, Estonia, France, Germany, Greece, India, Italy, Japan, and the list goes on. See, the UN's Universal Postal Union, right, which deals with the postal servicing of 192 countries, came out and stated that the changes will entail considerably operational changes for postal operators all around the world. And when the agency, right, was questioned by USA Today, they stated that they couldn't announce the names of these countries that decided that they will be suspending their imports to the United States. But then these countries decided to start announcing it themselves. They just started coming out and telling you guys, yeah, we're not shipping to the United States anymore. This should be bigger news, but for some reason it's not really being broadcasted. And I wonder why, considering that we are all going to feel it. For all of you guys who kept saying that we weren't going to feel any of the effects of what Donald Trump was doing until after the 4 years, we're feeling it now. We're feeling it now. Let me just let you know what we're all about to start experiencing, okay? We're going to be dealing with the increased cost of consumers. Now, I know a lot of people have been saying this from the beginning, but now you're really going to start feeling it. When you walk into those stores and you see that the prices actually jumped considerably, then you're going to start to realize the severity of what everybody was trying to explain to you guys. In addition to that, we're also going to be dealing with the impact on small businesses, okay? Essentially causing a lot of them to shut down. Why? Because the higher costs in operations, or it's going to take to operate their small business, as well as the loss in international consumers, okay? You're also going to have to deal with regulation changes. Now that all of these countries have decided to take a pause in shipping over to the United States, who's to say that they're not going to change how they deal with shipment and how they deal with tariffs? And overall, the trade relations is about to change in a way that a lot of us can't even handle. I'm going to be so honest with you. So yeah, all that talk about we're going to feel it in the 4 years, we're not going to really feel it right now. No. We're feeling it now. We're feeling it now.
Just a friendly reminder that in 15 years, everyone will claim that they were never a part of MAGA.
So this has already started to happen, and I've noticed this being a stand-up comic who goes on tour. So in January, my husband and I performed in a city that was definitely very Republican conservative heavy. We drove down and there were Trump MAGA signs everywhere. When we performed our sets, it was very clear that it was a very conservative audience. Both my husband, Dave, and I have like a lot of progressive jokes in our set, so like we're on stage like rewriting our entire set as quickly as we possibly can to ensure that like we would get out of there alive. So recently we were hired back to perform in that same city. And since we already did it, we're like, okay, we now know what we're getting into. Let's, get sets prepared that we know will work in those cities. And we drove in and we noticed that the Trump signs were gone. Not just a few, we couldn't find one. The main drive that we took into the city was literally littered with MAGA. They were gone. We were shocked. Now, I'm sure in other parts of the city, I'm sure people still had their signs up, but it was like night and day from like the last time we came down, which was in January. And the crowd looked the same. They were about the same age group. They were dressed the same. They looked the same in terms of like ethnicity. It looked like a bunch of old white boomers. But Dave went up before me and I could see him about halfway through his set going, I'm gonna try something. And he did one of his really super progressive jokes. When I tell you, I have never seen that joke crush as hard as it did, I was shocked. It was a literal applause break. I was literally holding my breath while he was doing that joke. Because I was like, oh my God, they're gonna turn on him. They're gonna start throwing things at him. Literal applause break. So yeah, no, I'm seeing in little baby ways, it's already happening. It's not like enough. But yeah, no, people are already trying to erase their actions. So start keeping track of those receipts now, because they're already starting to erase what they've done.
Is Trump trying to get the dollar weak?
Yes.
And why is he trying to get the dollar weak?
Because it's entirely consistent with what he's doing on tariffs. If you make your own currency weaker, it makes your imports more expensive. What's the idea of tariffs? To make his market less attractive. So the two are entirely consistent.
And what is the outcome then for the opportunity in emerging market equities?
Well, there are two parts to that. One is related to the dollar, and there has always been this fairly strong inverse relationship between what happens to the dollar and what happens to emerging market equities. And the other, of course, it's not just about currency, it is also about their own economic outlook.
We have some big news right now. Donald Trump is freaking out about today's decision invalidating his tariffs. He said in a Truth Social post minutes ago saying all tariffs are still in effect. He's not fully wrong. The court gave until October 14th for them to be invalidated. He said today, a highly partisan appellate court incorrectly stated that our tariffs should be removed, but they know the United States of America will win in the end. If these tariffs went ever away, it would be a total disaster for the country. It would make us financially weak, and we have to be strong. He then goes on to say, now with the help of the United States Supreme Court, we will use them to the benefit of our nation and make America rich, strong, and powerful. Again, thank you to the attention to this matter. He obviously is trying to go to the United States Supreme Court now before October 14th deadline to appeal today's decision invalidating his tariffs regime. He is very, very upset, and he's freaking out about it because this is a central tenet of his economic policy. We'll see what the Supreme Court does, but right now, he is not happy. Spread the word so more people know. I'll do a full breakdown on my Substack, linked in bio. Subscribe for free. Follow along for all the news you need to know about.
Well, MAGA, did you catch it? Fox News is finally priming you guys for when they take away your firearms. We've been saying for years that we need common sense gun laws. Background checks, waiting periods, mental health checks. But you guys were like, no, guns aren't the problem, it's mental health. And then the Republicans would all strike down mental health bills. You guys were like, guns aren't the problem, guns aren't the problem. We don't care how many kids are shot in class. But now, finally, after years and thousands of school shootings, Trey Gowdy, the man who looks like Draco Malfoy got his head stuck in a toaster, said on air that we have a gun problem in this country. He said the only way to stop it is to ID the shooter ahead of time or keep the weapons out of their hands. We have to have a conversation about our freedom versus protecting children. I mean, how many school shootings does it take? Hilarious that those of us on the left have been saying this for fucking years. And the right, and the MAGA specifically, have been telling us we're overreacting and that it doesn't matter if kids get shot. But now conveniently, as Donald Trump is sending the National Guard, armed troops, into 19 states, the Republicans have had a revolutionary idea. They're like, why didn't we think of this before? We should take away people's guns because those are the problem, and it'll be patriotic for you to give up your guns for our children. Meanwhile, the rest of us have been saying guns are a problem for years, before we had a fascist authoritarian in office. But now he's primed all of the gullible rubes into thinking, you know, maybe children are more important than my guns. Why didn't I think of that? And the MAGA will dutifully hand their weapons over to the government after they've been screaming about tyranny for decades whenever a Democrat was in office. And these armed troops will be storming into their towns and they'll be like, oh shit, I'm not armed anymore. And it will go right over their goddamn head. I love the fact that these people call themselves patriots and wear dumb t-shirts with 1776 We the People on it. They're going to be the first ones on their doorstep dutifully handing over armfuls of AR-15s to the military. Because King Trump said so, what a patriot! God, these people are fucking stupid. And after thousands of kids die and you're willing to give all of that up now, just because your cult leader says so, as Benjamin Franklin put it, you deserve neither liberty nor safety.
What did I tell you 5-6 days ago? What did I tell you? Go back and look at that video again. What the hell do I tell you everything 5 days in advance? 5 to 6 days in advance I told you. When you were saying, no, it's not going to happen. China and Russia have jumped in. China has sent its ships to align with Americans. Russia has warned they're coming. If America touches any of those nuclear sites in Iran, which are being managed by Russian engineers. Anything happens there, it's a direct confrontation with the Russians. And Russians said, we ain't going to put up with it. So they cannot drop their 30,000 ton dipshit bomb because Russians said, you do that, you're taking us directly on. Iran has now said to all the other places which are bordering, all the Arab countries, that we are also going to treat you as enemies wherever these American planes take off from. Iran being the country which is upholding Islam and fighting back for Gazans, and everybody else who really should be fighting back for Gazans is providing air bases for America to come and bomb the crap out of Iran. So do you expect Iran to sit back and quietly? It's like me knowing that 5 of my neighbors are all planning to, they're all, let's just say they've all got bricks in their front room ready to come and pounce on me. And you think I'm going to go and leave them alone? No, I'm going to go and deal with all the 5, 6 houses. Everybody.
We have some news right now. The Trump administration has been caught violating the law again. This time, the Department of Homeland Security is not accurately keeping text messages in violation of the Federal Records Act. And so, because of that, the public may never know what the true communications are between senior officials, especially as it's related to National Guard deployment. According to the New York Times, the Department of Homeland Security has not kept text message data since April in likely violation of the Federal Records Act. Essentially, a nonprofit group asked the Department of Homeland Security through a public records request for all communications related to the deployment of the National Guard in Los Angeles earlier this year, along with communications associated with the Alligator Alcatraz facility in the Everglades. And the Department of Homeland Security says, well, we don't have it. Why don't they have it? Because they're no longer maintained. Essentially, they're being deleted in real time, which is a violation of the law. The executive branch is required to preserve these records. And will anything come out of it? I don't know. But right now, the Homeland Security Department is preventing the public from seeing the truth about what's actually happening within the federal government. And more people need to know, so spread the word and follow along for more.
Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know what are your thoughts. Let me know what you think about them in the comment section. Please don't forget to like this video and don't forget to subscribe to the channel in case you have not subscribed already. So you stay tuned guys, and I hope to see you guys in my next episode. Bye.